Well, here I am again, another dilemma. Where am I going to fish tomorrow? I've been fishing the secret lake for the last 2 weeks or so, and I was actually thinking of going down to Waterville, but I think, we need a little more water down there. I want to fish the main river, the Cummer River. Geez, that used to be great years ago for salmon and sea trout from around about August on. But I was looking at the forecast after last week or so. They had a bit of a flood on another river there called the Inny, and I have reason to believe they had a couple of salmon on it. But I wanted to go up and fish Derriana, which is the top lake, and that holds a great stock of sea trout and salmon when the conditions are right, obviously. So do you know something? I'm going to give it another week or so. Hopefully we'll get a good bit of rain during the week, and I think I'm going to head back down to, I hate to say it, I'm going to head back down to the secret lake because the conditions are a bit better tomorrow than they were last week. Last week was an absolute scorcher, 24 degrees. I had to come off the lake. The heat was just unnatural, and the fish were down and just weren't biting at all. But tomorrow, with a bit of overcast, it's much cooler and a bit of a breeze on it. So do you know something? I'm going to get on the phone. Hopefully I won't be too late to book a boat, and I'll head down to the secret lake. So we'll see what happens in the morning. Well, here I am down at the secret lake. Just picked up the key. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all the gear ready, get it down to the boat actually, make sure I have everything, and get my waders on. Beautiful day actually, nice cloudy day. No breeze, believe it now or not. So hopefully the fish are up for the fly this morning. But look, we get out and give it a try anyway, So I'll be about 10-15 minutes getting all the gear ready, and we get out and hopefully catch a few big ones today. Always turn the waders upside down. You never know what's in the bottom of them. Umpteen times I've actually put the waders on and found that there's some other structure at the bottom that's nothing worse than getting them on and having to take them back off again. Just making sure I have my pliers for taking the old hooks out in case they do get caught. I use barbless hooks, so that shouldn't happen. And I also have my scissors just for cutting the tippet. Make sure I have my tippet in my pocket. I have my tippet, and I have my barber. Should I need it? But most of my flies are all barbless anyway, So I have my debarber, and I have my plastic ties. This is for the anchor, and I'll show you how to set our anchor up later on actually, which is very handy in case you ever get stuck in the bottom. That's it. That's basically it. So we put everything away. That goes away. Tie it all up so it doesn't fall out, and we'll head on down then and get all the gear into the boat. Now, take the key, front. Well, here I am. I'm down at the boat, and I'm just doing a quick check to make sure I have everything that's needed for the boat. Outboard engine, we have the battery and the flies are at the back of the boat. We have the oars, very important, and of course the life jacket. I have my 2 fishing rods and I have my anchor. Now I'm going to show you how to set up that little jig on the anchor in case you get stuck in the bottom. And most important of all, which I forget sometimes, is the landing net. Outside of that, I think I'm good to go actually. So we'll get the life jacket on and we'll get out on the boat, and hopefully it's a nice dull morning actually. It's nice and warm. Hopefully we'll catch a few fish. We're out grand and early, so we can't complain. No excuses today. That's all to do with me. Oh, don't forget, if you want, well, I always carry a mobile phone with me in case anything ever does go wrong. At least you have access to some kind of emergency service or whatever the case may be. But I always carry that, put it in a safe place and make sure it is actually locked away. I would put the zipper on, and just be careful when you're taking it out in the boat if you have to take it out. With that, let's get down now and we do a bit of fishing. Now, this is the anchor setup I was telling you about actually. It's this is a heavy anchor actually. What is it? It's I know it's 20 pounds or something like that, which is about 8 kilo. I think it's an 8 kilo anchor actually. Yeah, I use that now maybe on a windy day. It's not windy today, so I have another anchor. It's only about 5 kilo, I say. But look, I had that on board, so I'll bring that. Generally, what I do is I'd tie off at the bottom, actually the bottom ring, and then I'd run the cord up to the top ring here actually, and then just put the tie rope on, or the plastic tie on here, so that if you do get stuck on the bottom, what you actually do is you just give that, when you're up in the water, you give that a good chuck. This breaks off. The anchor turns upside down and you're able to pull it out, and you're out of your obstruction, whatever the case may be. There's nothing worse than leaving an anchor stuck on the bottom and then having to cut the rope, because it could happen to you. You could be down on the lake and the rope gets caught in the motor, twirls around. It could easily pull the motor off the back of the boat and do a lot of damage actually, you know. So generally that's what I would do, and I think it's a fantastic way of using the anchor. So hopefully you'll take note of that, and if you're on the lakes yourself and use an anchor, sometimes you can actually put a 3-foot chain on the back of it, which sets the anchor much quicker. But I do that now. My lighter anchor, but this one I don't need to do it because I say it's an 8 pounder, which is a 20 pounder, which opens up fairly quick actually. So okay, that's it. So we get out now and do a bit of fishing. Well, here we are, first cast of the day. I'm actually on the buzzers, so we'll throw that out for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. There's a nice breeze behind me, believe it or not, which I wasn't expecting. I'm at the bottom of the lake, so I have just cast out 3 buzzers up, black, blue and a white, believe it or not. I have some success on these over the last couple of weeks or so, so look at, we'll give them a try again. It's nice, it's cool enough, mind you, so it might be time to put on a jacket. When I came out, when I was on the bank, it was quite warm, but obviously when you hit the water it gets much cooler. So that's my first cast out there. Now I'm going to try a second cast, much closer to the weeds, and let it drip from left to right. That's over by the weeds there now, not too close to them. About 3 foot away in the weeds, and there's a nice bit of a run from the left to the right, actually running out that way. So hopefully we might catch a fish or two down here. I have had good success down the bottom here actually, so we'll give it half an hour or so and say we'll try the buzzers, and if not we'll run the boobies and the blob and see what success we have, see what they're up for. Hopefully they'll be up for one of them. We'll get a bit of sport off it today because the conditions are absolutely perfect. Well, here we are, Terrace Jocks the Kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. Well, kitchen cum dining room. I was out in the lake the last 2 hours or so. Unfortunately, I got nothing to the boat. The wind is actually at the getting up a bit, which I'm quite surprised. I don't know whether that was forecast or not. Anyway, we're eating a la carte today. Starter, some orange juice. Main course, cream of tomato with some Pellegrino water, and for the afters I have some blackcurrant jelly trifle. Maybe I have a snack there as well, actually, you know. So what I'll do now is we'll start up the cooking, and in the meantime hopefully the wind will get down a bit, actually, you know, and we get out later on and do a bit of fishing again. Pliers. I couldn't find the gadget. It's inside in the Jeep somewhere, would you believe it? I couldn't find it. Oh, I had to get something in a hurry because that was on the boil and I didn't want it to boil over. Anyway, that's the orange juice. This is the main course with the pliers. How hygienic is that? The pliers, huh? I always knew it would come in handy. No salt there. We'll forgo the salt. The great thing now is that I have only one pot to clean when I'm finished. Oh, that's hot. Beautiful. Love tomato soup. Tomato and basil is my favourite. Even normal tomato soup. Actually, all soups are nice, to be honest with you. And that's so handy to cook and so easy. And I should really have a bread roll with it or something, but look, at this will do for the time being. I'll get something to the main meal, maybe something on the way home or so, actually, get a takeaway. It's a beautiful chippy on the way home there. They do a beautiful fresh cod and chips, and I'm sure it's fish locally, so I'll be looking forward to that. Beautiful. Say it was done in 5 minutes and no mess. And always take your rubbish with you when you're finished. Don't ever leave it there for somebody else to clean up. They won't appreciate it at all. At least I wouldn't anyway if it was me. As I say, I was out this morning and there was a lovely calm morning when I went out, and the wind is actually getting up a bit. It's cool on the lake, actually. I had to wear a jacket. I come in, it's quite warm on the bank. So I'll go back out now. I'll give it an hour or two later on and see how we get on. I don't know why it's so slack, because the conditions are absolutely perfect. But then again, it's all down to when it was stocked the last time, actually, you know. I see the cormorants are fairly full anyway. I'm sure there's about between 8 or 10 cormorants there. And well, I have to say the soup was beautiful. Now I'm having the jelly trifle. My favourite, jelly and custard. Have it 7 days of the week if I could get it. These are beautiful. Absolutely, it reminds me when I was a kid. Way back then, if I remember, you look forward to your Sunday dinner because you always got jelly and ice cream. You got it once a week. That's before they started making jelly and custards in the tubs and start selling them in the supermarkets. I tell you, we've come a long way since then. Little did we ever think back then the way things would change. Your takeaway dinners and your takeaway desserts and all the different technology now and all that, in all the space of 30 or 40 years. And I always wonder, in 30 or 40 years time, where will we be? What technological advances will we have then? You'll have a little jet pack on your back, I think, and you'll be heading off for one river and one lake and Never see them there nowadays. I was watching it there, was it a year or two ago, where they have the jetpack in the back and you just hit a little button and up in the air and you take off and off you go to wherever you're going. There'd be no traffic lights or road rails or road signs then, I'd say. A little trick. If you haven't got a cleaning pad with you and you want to get some grease or say the soup off the bottom of the pot, just throw in a little bit of sand or a couple of pebbles from the bottom of the water lake or the bottom of the lake or wherever you are in the river, wherever the case may be, and makes a great scrubber actually, you know. Fantastic. Really grinds down all the grit. Only thing is I have to wash it thoroughly afterwards the next time we use it. We don't want to be losing a couple of teeth. Look at that. As good as new, maybe even better. All done. I'll have to get it out. An old Brillo pad for the bottom of it. That's perfect actually. No, oh, throw that there. We clean the old spoons now as well. That's everything all done. Now, clean everything off the table. I'll leave it the way that we found it. I was just walking down there and I spotted the apple on the ground. Lovely little, I'd say no. And here is a beautiful apple tree. Loads of apples on it. It's a bit early I think maybe for the old apples, but listen, I wouldn't fancy eating one of them. I'd say it's not out in the boat you be for today. It's in the ditch. I think they would give you an awful cramp in your stomach. They're great though for making apple tart, cooking it and that. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? All the fruit on your doorstep. The big apple tree too as well. Imagine now when that's ripe and that's and all the apples are ripe. I wonder do they eat them themselves? Next time I'm talking to the owners I must find out, do they actually use the apple tree for baking or cooking or anything like that? Beautiful to see. Well, as you can see, just coming off the lake. I'm afraid I got nothing to the boat, which is most unusual. There's only two things I can think of. It hasn't been stocked recently, and I would think even if they put a few fish in, there's a load of cormorants here actually, and they look fairly full to me. So I imagine maybe there'll be a lot of them taken by the cormorants in there as well. But I always have found the water very dirty. I was using the boobies and the blobs and they were coming up absolutely filthy. So I said I'd pack it in early, and you know what I'll do now? I'll give this place a rest for a while, I think. I head back up to the wild lakes, the Kerry Mountains, or one or two of the rivers before the season closes. So until then, I'll make up my mind what I'm going to do. Probably head back down to Wardville maybe, and I want to fish, as I said, to the Cummer River and Derriana, the main lake. They've had some water down there recently, so I might venture down there next week. So fingers crossed we get more rain during the week. Now, just checking that we put the oars back, everything all locked up, table is nice and clean, we left no rubbish behind us, and I've just checked the boat to make sure that there's no flies or anything left inside it. We took all the rods, everything is out, so we're just ready to go, and we have left the place exactly as we found it, nice and clean. Don't forget to lock the gate after you in case of any wildlife get in or wildlife get out. We have that done, and that's that. Before I forget, always take your tippet line away with you, don't leave it hanging around. It's not a nice thing to be wrapped up in somebody else's tippet line, and that actually I always take mine away, roll a little ball and put it in my pocket. I'll cut it up into little pieces after and dispose of it. But you see it there sometimes, and it'll be cut around your engine, it'll be cut around your anchors, even cut around your feet. It's cut around, believe it or not, they get cut around the wheels of the cars and everything, so just be careful as I said, you don't look just the normal rubbish, but this is rubbish as well actually, and we don't want to get it tangled around any wildlife or anything like that. That's it anyway. I said I'm just ready to put away the fly rods, put them into their cases, and I'll hit the road then, so until the next time, tight lines.